Did you know? Male anglerfish mate by biting the female's abdomen. In the dark depths of the ocean, the tiny male anglerfish has one job: find a female and attach himself to her. And I mean literally attach. He bites into her abdomen and never lets go. The male then fuses with the female, and over time he basically melts into her, leaving behind just his testicles. Yep, you heard that right. He becomes a permanent parasitic growth on her body. This bizarre setup has its perks though. The female always has a mate ready to go, and the male doesn't waste energy hunting for food. It's like having a built-in baby daddy on demand. So next time you're feeling a bit too attached in your relationship, just remember the anglerfish. At least you're not literally melting into your partner. Isn't nature wild? Did you know? Bananas are berries, but strawberries aren't. Let's dig into this fruity mystery. Here's the scoop. According to botany, a berry is a fleshy fruit that develops from a single ovary and contains multiple seeds. Sounds fancy, right? Well, guess what? Bananas fit this description perfectly. They develop from a single ovary and have those tiny little seeds inside. So, bananas are officially berries. Now, strawberries, on the other hand, are playing a sneaky game. They might look like berries, but botanically, they're not. Strawberries are what we call aggregate fruits. This means they form from the fusion of many small fruits or achenes around a central core. So while they might look like berries on the outside, they don't match the botanical definition. So, next time you munch on a banana, remember you're actually eating a berry. And when you enjoy a strawberry, remember it's not what it seems. Did you know? Bees will fall to the ground and will not fly in total darkness. Bees are incredible navigators, buzzing around using their sharp vision. But did you know if you take away all the light, bees will literally fall to the ground? Yep, it's true. In total darkness, bees can't see a thing. Without their visual cues, they get all disoriented and simply drop. Don't worry though, they won't be hurt. They just prefer to stay grounded until they can see again. Different types of bees handle darkness differently. Honeybees? Pretty chill with it. Bumblebees? Not so much. And get this, some bees are actually night owls. They've adapted to fly in low light. Impressive, right? But beware of artificial lights. It can mess up their natural navigation and foraging. Keep your lights dim if you're buzzing around bees. Bees are fascinating creatures with unique behaviors. So, next time you see a bee, give it a nod for its amazing light-detecting skills. Did you know? Blue eyes in humans is a relatively recent mutation. The first blue-eyed person likely lived around 6,000 to 10,000 years ago. So how did blue eyes evolve? It all started with a single genetic mutation in the OCA2 gene. This gene controls melanin production, the stuff that gives our eyes their color. The mutation reduced melanin in the iris, causing light to scatter and creating that iconic blue hue. This cool mutation probably happened in a population that was geographically isolated, like in Northern Europe. With less UV radiation to worry about, the blue-eye gene thrived. That's why blue eyes are less common in sunny places like Africa and Asia, where melanin helps protect the eyes from the sun. Fun fact, only about 8% of the world's population has blue eyes. And they might be more sensitive to light because of that lower melanin. There's also some evidence suggesting that blue-eyed folks could be more susceptible to certain eye conditions, but more research is needed. So, the next time you see those baby blues, remember, it's all thanks to a fascinating genetic twist. Like, did you know? Bones are wet. Let's dive into this bone-chilling fact. Your bones might feel hard and dry, but they're living tissues full of water. Think of them as the ultimate water bottles. First up, bone marrow. This squishy stuff inside your bones, it's about 75% water. And it's busy making blood cells, so it definitely needs to stay hydrated. Next, the bone matrix. This is the tough part that gives bones their shape. Guess what? It's got around 25% water. That water keeps your bones strong and flexible, so you can do all those cool dance moves. And don't forget the periosteum. This thin but mighty membrane covers the outside of your bones. It's packed with water and helps with nutrient exchange and bone repair. So the next time you think your bones are just dry, boring sticks, remember, they're actually wet and wild. Stay hydrated, folks. Your bones will thank you. Did you know? Chinchillas don't sweat. These fluffy little fur balls evolved in the cool, dry Andes Mountains, where the weather's perfect for their thick, dense coats. Their fur is so insulating, they stay warm in the cold and cool when it's warm. So how do they stay fresh? Dust baths. Yup, instead of water, chinchillas roll around in fine dust to clean their fur and absorb moisture. It's like a spa day, but for chinchillas. Dust baths help them stay clean and keep their fur dry, which is super important for regulating their body temperature. Chinchillas are adaptable too. They can handle cold to moderate temperatures but steer clear of hot, humid climates. If you've got a chinchilla buddy, make sure they've got a cool, dry home and access to their beloved dust baths. So next time you think you're cool, just remember, chinchillas don't sweat the small stuff. Literally. Did you know? Our continents are slowly drifting away from or closer to each other every year. Let's dive into the wild world of continental drift. The Earth's crust is split into massive chunks called tectonic plates. These plates are always on the move thanks to forces deep within our planet. First up, we've got divergent boundaries. This is where two plates pull apart, creating new oceanic crust. Think of it as the Earth's way of making more room for fish. Next, convergent boundaries. Here plates collide and one gets pushed under the other, forming mountain ranges and volcanoes. It's like the ultimate game of tectonic bumper cars. And then there are transform boundaries, where plates slide past each other horizontally. This is what causes earthquakes. Talk about tectonic turbulence. But how do we know this? Fossils found on different continents, matching rock formations and magnetic minerals, all point to this geological dance. The idea was first proposed by Alfred Wegener in 1912. Skeptical at first, the world now embraces it as a key part of geology. So the next time you feel like things are shifting under your feet, remember, it's just the continents on their epic road trip. Did you know? Both of your cornea don't take oxygen from your blood. Your corneas, that's the clear outer layer of your eyes, don't get oxygen from your blood. Instead, they get it straight from the atmosphere. How cool is that? Here's how it works. Your corneas are always covered by a thin layer of tears. And guess what? Those tears contain oxygen. Plus, oxygen from the air seeps directly into your corneas. Now, the cornea's design is pretty unique. It's thin, and it has a high density of blood vessels on the outer layers, making it super efficient at soaking up oxygen. It's like having a built-in oxygen mask. This mechanism is kind of like how frogs absorb oxygen through their skin. But your corneas are way more efficient thanks to being constantly exposed to the oxygen-rich atmosphere. So next time you're blinking away, remember, your eyes are breathing just like you. Pretty wild, right? Did you know? You can tell the temperature with cricket chirps. It's called Dolbear's Law. Here's how it works. Count the number of cricket chirps you hear in 14 seconds, then add 40 to that number. Boom! You've got a rough estimate of the temperature in Fahrenheit. So if you hear 30 chirps in 14 seconds, add 40 and you get 70 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 degree Celsius. Pretty cool, right? But hold your horses. There are a few things to keep in mind. Different cricket species chirp at different rates, and this formula works best between 50 degrees Fahrenheit and 86 degrees Fahrenheit, or 10 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius. Outside that range, it's about as reliable as a chocolate teapot. And remember, it's a fun trick, not an exact science. For the real deal temperature, stick to a thermometer. So next time you're out enjoying nature, impress your friends with this quirky cricket trick. Happy chirping. Did you know? There are more muscles in an elephant's trunk than in a human's entire body. That's right, an elephant's trunk boasts around 40,000 muscles. Compare that to the human body, which has about 650 muscles, and you'll see why elephants are the true muscle maestros of the animal kingdom. So what do they do with all that muscle power? Well, they use their trunks for everything. Drinking, eating, communicating, and even lifting objects. They're like the Swiss Army knives of the animal world. But wait, there's more. The muscles in an elephant's trunk are arranged in a complex network of bundles and layers, giving them precise control and flexibility. And it's not just about strength, the trunk is packed with sensory receptors, making it super sensitive. So next time you see an elephant, remember, you're looking at one of nature's most incredible adaptations. That trunk is a true marvel. Did you know? Earth is the only known planet where fire can burn. Here's the reason why. It's because our atmosphere is packed with oxygen. This gas is the VIP guest in any combustion party. On Earth, we've got plenty of burnable stuff like wood, grass, and even fossil fuels. Plus, we've got natural lighters like lightning and volcanoes. And let's not forget good old human activity. Campfires, anyone? Now, why can't fire burn on other planets? Most of them have tiny, thin atmospheres with little to no oxygen. Or they're made up of gases like carbon dioxide and hydrogen, not exactly fire-friendly. Take Venus and Mercury, for example. Super hot and high pressure, more like a pressure cooker than a barbecue. And gas giants like Jupiter and Saturn, they're basically big balls of gas with no solid surfaces for a bonfire. So next time you strike a match, remember, Earth is the real MVP for making fire possible. Did you know? There are torches that can be lit underwater. Yup, Magnesium torches can shine underwater. This highly reactive metal burns with a dazzling intense flame, even when submerged. Talk about a light show. First up, brightness. These torches blaze so brightly, even the fish need sunglasses. Perfect for exploring those dark, mysterious depths. Next, durability. Magnesium torches are tough cookies. They can withstand harsh underwater conditions and keep on glowing. But a quick word of caution, handle them with care. They can burn pretty much anything, including you. Safety first, folks. Here's the kicker. They only burn for about 15 to 20 minutes. So, plan your underwater adventure accordingly. Now, while magnesium torches are dazzling, let's not forget modern LED lights. They're durable, long-lasting, and adjustable. Plus, no risk of accidental burns. So there you have it. Whether you're Team Magnesium or Team LED, underwater illumination has never been cooler. Did you know? Male seahorses get pregnant. Let's dive into the fascinating world of male seahorses. These underwater dads do something truly unique. They get pregnant and give birth. Here's how it works. During a romantic courtship, male and female seahorses perform an elaborate dance, often involving synchronized swimming and color changes. Talk about setting the mood. Then the female transfers her eggs into a special pouch on the male's abdomen. It's like a backpack for babies. Inside this pouch, the male fertilizes and incubates the eggs, providing nutrients and oxygen. For several weeks, he carries these tiny future seahorses, protecting them from predators. And when it's time, the male seahorse goes into labor and gives birth to a brood of tiny, wriggling seahorses. This unusual strategy increases the chances of survival for the young, making male seahorses the ultimate protective dads. So next time you think you've heard it all, remember, in the world of seahorses, dads do the birthing. Did you know? There's a shrimp out there that punches like a .22 caliber bullet. Yep, you heard that right. The mantis shrimp has a punch so powerful it can shatter glass. These little marine marvels have two specialized clubs on their forelimbs made of calcite, the same tough stuff as seashells. Now get this. They can throw a punch in just 80 milliseconds. That's faster than the blink of an eye. And the force? A jaw-dropping 64,000 pounds per square inch. That's like getting hit by a .22 caliber bullet. But wait, there's more. When they punch, they create shock waves that form cavitation bubbles. These bubbles collapse with a bang, producing a flash of light and a loud snap. Talk about a one-punch. Mantis shrimp use their super punches for hunting and defense. They can stun or even kill fish much larger than themselves. So next time you're at the aquarium, give a nod to the mantis shrimp. They're packing a punch you wouldn't believe. Did you know? You can see the back of an owl's eyeball through its ear. How? Well, let's break it down. First, owls have this super unique ear structure. Their ears are asymmetrical, meaning one is higher than the other. This quirky setup helps them pinpoint sounds like a pro. But wait, it gets weirder. Behind each ear, there's a thin, transparent membrane. Think of it as a tiny window letting you see straight through to the back of their eyeball. Wild, right? Now why would they need this? Simple. It's a clever adaptation for hunting in the dark. By seeing the back of their eyeballs, owls can fine-tune their hearing and vision to nab their prey with ninja-like precision. So next time you see an owl, remember, those ears are more than just for hearing. They're a window to some seriously cool owl abilities. Did you know? Poop transplants are a thing. So what's the deal with poop transplants? Well, it's called fecal microbiota transplantation, or FMT for short. Basically, healthy poop from a donor gets transferred into the colon of someone who's sick. Sounds wild, right? But here's the scoop. The donor's gotta have the healthiest poop around. They're screened like they're auditioning for a blockbuster movie. No infections, no diseases, just pure golden gut health. Once they pass the test, their poop gets processed and, flushed into the recipient's colon. This can be done through a colonoscopy or an enema. And you know what? It's super effective, especially for nasty infections like Clostridium difficile. It's a bacterium that can cause severe diarrhea and other intestinal problems. And it's not just for C. diff. Scientists are exploring FMT for other issues like irritable bowel syndrome and inflammatory bowel disease. So next time you hear about poop transplants, remember, it might just be the next big thing in medicine. Crazy, but true. Did you know? Sloths give birth in trees, and they often give birth upside down. Yep, you heard that right. Sloths are the ultimate tree huggers, and they even give birth while hanging upside down. It's like they're saying, why not make it a bit more thrilling? Now here's the wild part. After the baby sloth is born, the umbilical cord acts like a bungee cord. It literally keeps the newborn from taking a tumble to the ground until it can latch onto a branch. Talk about a bungee birth. This is just one of the many cool adaptations sloths have for living in trees. These slow-motion marvels have evolved to be super energy efficient, and can even hold their breath longer than some people can hold a plank. So next time you see a sloth, remember, they might be slow, but their birth stories are action-packed. Did you know? Sloths don't smell. Sloths are like nature's ninjas, super stealthy and surprisingly odor-free. Unlike most mammals, sloths don't have sweat glands. Yep, no sweat, no stink. What makes them even more fascinating is their low metabolic rate. They produce so little heat and waste that body odor just isn't a thing. Now you might be thinking, but what about that musty smell? Well, that's not the sloth itself, it's the stuff living in their fur, algae, fungi, and other tiny hitchhikers. So, while they might carry a bit of a forest perfume, it's not coming from them. In fact, their fur maintenance game is pretty strong. Hanging upside down in trees helps keep their fur clean and free of debris. Sloths may not smell funky, but they sure can smell you. Their sense of smell is sharp, helping them find food, mates, and avoid predators. So next time you think sloths are just slow and lazy, remember? They're also odor-free ninjas of the animal kingdom. Did you know? We all start out in the womb as girls? There's actually a fascinating reason behind it. Alright, let's dive in. In the early stages of development, all embryos have structures that can develop into either male or female genitalia. What determines the difference? The mighty Y chromosome. If you get one, it triggers the production of male sex hormones, and voila, male genitalia start to form. But here's the kicker. Nipples develop before that Y chromosome gets to work. So both male and female embryos develop nipples early on. It's like Mother Nature's placeholder. By the time the hormones roll in to do their thing, it's too late. Nipples are already there to stay. So next time you wonder why men have nipples, just remember, we all started out with a little girl power. Pretty cool, huh? Did you know? We can't throw trash into space? You might think, hey, let's launch our garbage into the great beyond. But hold up, everybody. First off, any junk you toss into orbit becomes space debris. And guess what? Those random bits of trash can smash into satellites, spacecraft, and even astronauts. Imagine a floating banana peel causing $1 million collision. Yikes. Now let's get real about the cost. Sending stuff into space isn't cheap. You'd need a billionaire's budget just to launch your leftovers. And here's a fun fact. That soda can you chucked up there? It's not decomposing anytime soon. Space pollution is a thing, people. Plus, there's the chance space junk might crash back down to Earth. Picture flaming garbage raining from the sky. Not exactly eco-friendly, right? So instead of playing trash Tetris with our orbit, let's focus on recycling, composting, and reducing waste here on Earth. It's cheaper, safer, and way more responsible. Save space for the stars, not our scraps. Did you know? Turtles can breathe through their booty. So turtles have lungs just like us. They inhale, they exhale, pretty standard stuff. But here's where it gets wild. When they're underwater for a long time, they can absorb oxygen through their cloaca. Now that's a fancy term for their all-in-one exit, entrance, and everything in between hole. Yeah, it's not just an exit ramp, it's also an oxygen highway. Some turtles, especially the aquatic ones, have adapted to be super efficient at this whole butt-breathing thing. They might even store oxygen in their tissues for the long haul. But let's not forget, they mainly rely on their lungs for the heavy lifting. So next time you see a turtle, give a nod to their incredible respiratory skills. And remember, there's a lot more to them than just a cute shell and slow pace. Like and subscribe if you learned something new today.